Welcome back to another Top 10s Day Wednesday video. In today's video, we're going to begin a four-part series of ranking the most valuable annual pre-constructed commander decks throughout Magic the Gathering's history. The 10-year anniversary of Wizards of the Coast's first ever Commander product is right around the corner, and the release of the Commander 2021 pre-constructed decks is even sooner. To celebrate, I think it would be flavorful to review the current expected value of every pre-constructed deck that has been released over this period of time. This list is comprised of the annual Commander decks, and not the set Commander decks that were introduced with Zendikar Rising. This list also will not include the Commander 2021 decks. As there are 42 decks that have been released since 2011, splitting this series into 4 separate top 10 videos seems appropriate. As 2 of these decks present very low expected values, to the point of financial loss when compared with their original price points upon release, they will be mentioned at the beginning of this list, but, well, not honorably. Before we begin, first a disclaimer. The expected value of these decks were researched at the same time in order to compile the overall list of 42 decks. As this series is going to be spread out over the course of 4 separate videos, it is likely that the expected value of these decks will change during this time. These changes may modify the overall rankings of this list, as some decks are separated by mere pennies. Keep that inevitability in mind and think of this list as a snapshot in time of where these decks rank from the standpoint of expected value as compared to the time of viewing this video. Now, let's begin with those 2 unhonorable mentions. Number 42 on this list is Merciless Rage. Released in 2019, this Rakdos deck features Anji Falconwrath as the front-facing commander, in addition to Chainer, Nightmare Adept, and Greven, Predator Captain as other commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Kirik, Son of Yawgmoth, valued at around $5, which is a precipitous drop from its most valuable price point of $28 prior to release. Despite Kirik's popularity, he is the 28th most played commander as per EDHREC.com. This deck has the dubious distinction of having the lowest expected value of any annual pre-constructed commander deck. As a Rakdos deck, it has the usual destruction and reanimation themes. However, Merciless Rage has a Madness archetype included as well, aligning with the abilities of the deck's front-facing commander. Unfortunately, Madness is not a well-supported mechanic, and the sub-theme offered in this deck suffers from that reality. Number 41 on this list is Symbiotic Swarm. Released in 2020, this Abzan deck features Cathril, Aspect Warper as the front-facing commander, in addition to Tyam, Luminous Enigma. Nikara, Lair Scavenger, and Yannick, Scavenging Sentinel, also are included as partner with commander options. The most valuable cards in this deck are Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, and Swiftfoot Boots, each valued between $2 and $3. That is not good value, and is indicative as to why this deck represents the second lowest expected value of any pre-constructed commander deck. Tied to the Ikoria Lair of Behemoth set, Symbiotic Swarm focuses on evergreen abilities on creatures. The ability to place evergreen counters on creatures was introduced in Ikoria, and Symbiotic Swarm attempts to create a deck archetype based around this process. Value aside, this type of build is intriguing enough to warrant consideration for a future deck tech. With the unhonorable mentions out of the way, now we can begin part 1 of this 4-part Top 10 series. Number 40 on this list is Primal Genesis. Released in 2019, this Naya deck features Jirad Conclave Exile as the front-facing commander, in addition to Atla Palani Nest Tender and Marisi Breaker of the Coil as other commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Oran Frostfang at around $20. The focus of Primal Genesis mirrors some of the strengths of the Naya Shard, which is generating creature tokens and getting big, stompy creatures onto the battlefield. Both Jirad and Atla Palani do this very well and in different ways. The third commander, Marisi, offers very unique combat-specific abilities in preventing opponents from casting spells during any combat, as well as goading opponents' creatures if any creatures you control deals combat damage to them. According to EDHREC.com, Atla Palani is the more popular commander option than the deck's primary selection of Jirad, but both commanders are ranked in the top 50 overall. Number 39 on this list is Ruthless Regiment. The second offering from Commander 2020, this Mardu deck features Jirina Kudro as its front-facing commander, in addition to Calcian the Plague. Trin, Champion of Freedom, and Silvar, Devourer of the Free, also are included as partner with commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Flawless Maneuver at around $10. Ruthless Regiment is a human tribal deck with the goal of victory through combat. Both Trin and Silvar have human synergies by creating human tokens and providing a sacrifice outlet for creatures you control. Calcian marks the return of experience counters in Commander, but no other support is offered for this mechanic in the deck. Calcian offers a very unique deck-building archetype, but similar to Merciless Rage and other decks we'll see on this list, not enough support for a featured theme is offered or is available. Number 38 on this list is Faceless Menace. In another return to 2019, this Sultai deck features Kadena, Slinking Sorcerer, as its front-facing commander, in addition to Ryami, First of the Fallen, and Volrath the Shapeshifter as other commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Seedborn Muse at around $10. Faceless Menace is a morph-centric deck in which Kadena allows the first morph spell you cast each turn to be free, and rewards the player for drawing a card whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control. Unfortunately, not enough cards were included to offer support for this theme, as spells with flash or flash-enabling spells would have generated additional value and enhanced Kadena's abilities. Also unfortunate, the inclusions of Ryami and Volrath feel misplaced in a deck that badly wants to abuse the engine of casting free morph spells and drawing cards as a result. Number 37 on this list is Nature of the Beast. Released in 2013, this Naya deck features Mareth, Will of the Wild, as the front-facing commander, in addition to Gahiji, Honored One, and Mael of the Anima as other commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Homeward Path at around $15. Nature of the Beast, the second Naya deck on this list, has similar themes to the first Naya deck on this list, Primal Genesis. Creating creature tokens, and getting big creatures onto the battlefield while trying to achieve victory through combat. The supporting commanders offered in this deck also enhance these themes, as Gahiji not only boosts the power of your attacking creatures, but also boosts the power of your opponent's attacking creatures, as long as they are attacking players other than you. Lastly, Mael has an ability to cheat big creatures into play from the top of your library, further solidifying the combat-centric style of victory. Number 36 on this list is Enhanced Evolution. The third trip to 2020, this Sultai deck features Otrimi the Ever-Playful as the front-facing commander, in addition to Zaxara the Exemplary. Kazur, Ruthless Stalker, and Yukima Stalking Shadow also are included as partner with commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Deadly Rollick at around $15. Enhanced Evolution, the second Sultai deck to make this list, focuses on the Mutate mechanic, which was introduced in Ikoria Lair of Behemoths. As we have seen throughout various entrants on this list so far, a lack of functional support for a new or less represented mechanic, in this instance Mutate, handcuffs players' abilities to pilot and upgrade this deck. To strengthen this point, the deck's secondary commander option, Zaxara, is about 100 spots more popular as a commander option than Otrimi, as per EDHREC.com at the time of researching this video. Number 35 on this list is Arcane Maelstrom. Another member from the 2020 class, this Temur deck features Kalamax the Stormsire as the front-facing commander, in addition to Xeris the Writhing Storm. Haldan, Avid Arcanist, and Paco, Arcane Retriever, also are included as partner with commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Deflecting SWAT at around $30. Enhanced Evolution focuses on instant spells as its primary commander, Kalamax, will copy these instant spells when tapped as well as get a +1/+1 counter whenever you copy an instant spell. Enabling Kalamax's abilities can be a challenge without upgrades, as Kalamax must be tapped in order to copy an instant spell. Also, it only gets a +1/+1 counter when an instant spell is copied, not cast. Although there are various creatures included in the deck that synergize with instant spells, this is a difficult and clunky engine to set up and maintain right out of the box. Number 34 on this list is Mindseize. In a return to 2013, this Grixis deck features Jaliva Nephalia's Scourge as its front-facing commander, in addition to Nekuzar the Mindraiser and Thraxamundar as other commander options. There was a time that this sealed commander deck was the most coveted commander product available, and that was because of one card. True Name Nemesis is the most valuable card in this deck at around $8. The value of this card has fallen drastically. At one point this was $45, but its reprinting in Battlebond and subsequent time shifting in Time Spiral Remastered has sunk the value of this merfolk. The theme of this deck is focused on Grixis' strengths: removal, disruption, and card advantage. As seen previously on this list, a secondary commander option is more popular. Nekuzar is about 150 spots more popular as a commander than Jaliva, as per EDHREC.com at the time of researching this video. Number 33 on this list is Mystic Intellect. The fourth and final member from the 2019 class, this Jeskai deck features Savine the Chronoclasm as the front-facing commander, in addition to Elsha of the Infinite and Pramikon Sky Rampart as other commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Dockside Extortionist at around $48. This means that the overall expected value of the other 99 cards in this deck is around $15, or an average of around 15 cents per card. I sense that once Dockside Extortionist receives its first reprinting, this Mystic Intellect deck will fall precipitously in the expected value rankings. The theme of this deck is focused on non-creature spells, as most Jeskai builds do. These non-creature spells outnumber creature spells 2-to-1 in this deck. Elsha is about 200 spots more popular as a commander than Savine, as per EDHREC.com at the time of researching this video. This continues a trend of secondary commander options becoming more popular than the front-facing options. Number 32 on this list is Adaptive Enchantment. Released in 2018, this Bant deck features Estrid the Masked as its front-facing commander, in addition to Kestia the Cultivator and Tuvasa the Sunlit as other commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Bear Umbra at around $10. The 2018 Commander product saw a return of Planeswalker commander options. This deck is centered around an enchantment theme. There are 25 enchantment spells in the deck, 7 enchantment creatures, and 7 other creatures that have synergies with enchantments. Innistrad untaps enchanted permanents you control, creates auras, and returns all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. However, Tuvasa may be the hidden charm of this deck, as he is about 60 spots more popular as a commander than Innistrad, as per EDHREC.com at the time of researching this video. Number 31 on this list is Subjective Reality. Back-to-back appearances from the 2018 product, this Esper deck features Aminatu the Fate Shifter as its front-facing commander, in addition to Verena Lich Queen and Yennet Cryptic Sovereign as other commander options. The most valuable card in this deck is Aminatu the Fate Shifter at around $14. This deck's theme revolves around manipulating the top of your library, an ability accomplished by Aminatu's +1 Planeswalker ability. Littered throughout the deck are various cards that can set up the top of your library. Additionally, there are some powerful cards with the miracle mechanic, such as Entreat the Angels and Entreat the Dead. Casting these spells for their miracle costs offers deep discounts on the mana investment of each spell. As a bonus, Urena offers the build-around option of an Esper Zombie tribal deck, a first for Magic the Gathering. Variants aside, Aminatu is the most popular commander of this deck, as per EDHREC.com. That'll do it for this portion of the list. Stay tuned for the next installment in this series, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons on your way out. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for celebrating Commander.